Hi everyone, this is Form 4 at Maths textbook chapter 9 solution triangle intensive practice 9.2. My name is Terry. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like, subscribe and leave us a comment. Now let's get straight to the first question. Here we are given a card in the shape of a parallelogram. Now this length of the diagonal of the card, so I'll draw a parallelogram for you. The length of diagonal means from one end here to another end here. One length is 6, another length is 10. So the way, in the manner in how I draw it, you can see that the longer side will be here, and since parallelogram, they are always the midpoint of these two diagonal, they always meet. Yeah, they share the same midpoint actually. So if it's 10, we can say that we halve it, this will be 5 and 5, and the other diagonal, if it's 6, half of it will be 3 and 3. So also you're given acute angle between the diagonals are 62. So this angle is 62. The other angle over here should be 180 minus 62, 118. Okay, so here we are finding the length of two sides. Maybe we can call this x. The length is x, the other side is y. And you're supposed to calculate the length of both sides. Maybe I start with y. Y is opposite to 62 degree. Now remember, when you're given the length of two side, flanked by an angle, flank the angle. So for example, this angle is angle A, this is B and C. The opposite length is A here. We say A square is the same as B square plus C square minus 2BC cos A. This is a formula for cosine rule. So if I find y, I can square it and equate it with 3 square it plus 5 square it, 2 times 3 times 5 cos of angle 62. So whatever you get here, you can square it directly. Now you actually don't have to write down this value, but sometimes to make students understand, I think I'll write down this value here. Now I've got y squared to be 19.91585. I actually don't have to write so many things. You can just straightaway use your calculator and square root this, and my y value is 4.463, correct to 3 decimal places. Now when you check the answer in the textbook, the answer given was 4.071, which is quite puzzling. I don't know why. Maybe initially they wanted to use different figures, right? Yeah, maybe the angle is different or the length is different, right? That's why they probably changed the question and the answer is different as a result. Okay, for x, I would take the two sides. They're still the same, 3 and 5. All right, still 2, 3, 5. However, this angle is cos 118 now. Right, the angle is 118. So use your calculator. So I'm going to write this down. 3 square 5 square 2 minus 2 3 5 cos 118. I got 48.08415. Actually, like I say, don't want to write, it's okay. In fact, I actually don't encourage my students to write it. Just to square it straight away. I've got 6.934. And again, answer in the textbook at the back is 6.475. Again, I wonder what's wrong. Possibly they change the figure, right? So there you go. This is the answer for question number 1. All right, let's move on to question number 2. Okay, now this question here requires some knowledge about bearing, and they used to teach bearing in Form 5 Mod Maths, but is now removed from the syllabus. But it's not something very difficult. Probably you've done in your geography, right? Now we know that bearing is measured. Number one is bearing measured from north. So when they say bearing of K from J, K from J is this angle here, north to J to K, and this angle is now 20, right? For bearing, if the number is less than 100, normally put a 0 in front. But of course, for angle, we don't put a 0 to 0, we just write 20 degrees. And the bearing of L from J is 55. So this angle over here is 55. Now, if the whole thing is 55, you minus 20, the difference will be 35. And we are finding the distance between town K and L. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. Again, we can use cosine rule. KL square is now 15 square plus 20 square minus 2, 15, 20 cos 35. Okay, use your calculator, square root this, right? Okay, again, I will show you how. Just to help you double check, use your calculator, you type this out, right? But I wouldn't write this down. 133.50877 should be something like this. Because if you tend, I have students who write 13.51 and then they square root and they got a different answer. So you want to avoid that, right? You can just straight away square root this and get 11.555, correct to 3 decimal places. This is in kilometer. Okay, right? This is question number 2. Okay, let's move on to question number 3. So here, question number 3, you have Bunga Raya ship left a port and sail east for the distance of 28 kilometers. I hope you have some sense of direction. East means to the right hand side, right? This is 28 kilometers. So the Bunga Raya ship, what do you call Bunga Raya ship? I call it B. Oh, okay. No, I call it Raya. Raya for R. Okay, R sounds better. And then the port, I call it P. So you sail to the east, so it's actually going here. Now, then Bunga Orchid ship left the same port and sailed for 49 kilometers. So the final distance between the two ships is 36. Now the problem is I don't know where's the direction of Bunga Orchid. So I just do, but I know the length is going to be longer, 49. Previous one is 28, right? So I'll just draw something like this. 49 looks a little bit longer, right? So this is your orchid. So it traveled this direction for 49 kilometers. This is 28 kilometers. And the final distance between the two ships is 36. Okay, 36, this one makes sense, about 36. Yeah, it must be longer than 28 but less than 49. However, this is just a sketch. So if you sketch wrongly, it doesn't matter. Most important thing is you're working, yeah, must be correct. Okay, now we're finding the angle between the roots, right, of Bunga Raya ship and the Bunga Orchid ship. So when they say the roots, we're talking about this, the angle. So one is going east, the other one going at the second direction, right, over here. So we're going to find the angle between them, right? So let's call it theta, or you want to call it OPR. Now, before we do this, now understand that when the basic cosine rule is given as this, a squared equals to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Now I know some student or most people would just sub in the values and then rearrange the equation. Now I'm not a big fan of that because I find that it's actually harder to rearrange the equation, especially when the numbers are sub inside and the numbers consist of decimal words still. So you will have a hard time trying to rearrange everything. So for me, I will rearrange in advance, and after some time of arranging this, you can remember the formula b squared plus c squared minus a squared. You just have to divide by 2bc. Okay, so you divide by 2bc. So I would recommend that you remember this formula. And it's not that hard to remember this, right? So you're finding angle theta, right, or OPR. B and C are the two adjacent sides. Yep, these two. So we can take 28, you square it, 49, you square it. You minus A is the opposite side to a given angle, in this case 36. You square it, divide by 2, 28, and 49. Now use your calculator, shift cos. Now again, I can do one shot. I don't have to do one by one. Okay, again, I will just show you this just to help you double check your answer, just in case you couldn't get right. Now I actually got this value. I just write this down extra, 1889 over 2744, and you shift cos answer. My angle theta is 46.50, correct, to 2 decimal places. All right, moving on to question number 4. Right, I think this is very short. It's only 4 questions. All right, but this one, I need to zoom in the diagram. A bit hard to see, too small. So the diagram on the right shows the point in the shape of triangle M and P. Cos theta is given, and P is 8, PQ is 7, QN is 4. Injit Raja decorates the pond by arranging stones around the pond. Calculate the length of the bond. That means you're calculating the perimeter. So number one, let's focus on finding the length of mn. I think we can find mn first because you're given cos theta, you're given the length of qn. So if you focus on this angle here, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So if you take cos theta, you should get qn divided by mn. Now this is already 4, 5. Your qn is already 4. Therefore, your mn is just 5 meter. So write this first, 5 meter. Okay, if I know this is 4, this is 5, I can find mq, and mq we can just use Pythagoras, 5 square minus 4 square square root 3 meter. So, and notice that I know the length of all 3 sides, right? If I know the length of all 3 sides, I can find the angle. Now, why would I find one of the angle first? Because I cannot find this length, I cannot find Pn, yeah, without knowing at least one angle. Okay, either you use the small triangle here, I mean the triangle inside here, or the triangle outside here, right, the bigger one. But I think it's easier to find triangle PQN. Use triangle PQN, it will be easier, right? But to find PQN, we need to know PQM, right? So let's find angle PQM by using cosine rule. Now remember, in the previous example, previous question, I already mentioned we can use the second version. Okay, let me write down the second version formula for cosine rule. Cos angle A is b square plus c square minus a square over 2bc. We use this formula, right? So cos angle PQM, right? The two adjacent sides will be 3 and 7. The opposite side is 8, 2, 3, 7. So angle PQM. Now use your calculator, 98.21. Now okay, I don't want to show you one extra step, but you can just type in the calculator, press shift cos, and you get 98.21. Alright, the next thing is, once you know PQM, you can find PQN, because this one whole turn is 360, right? Now we already know that, okay, this is a bit ugly. We already know this angle is 90 here, angle Q here is 90, the other side is 98.21, so we find angle PQN by taking 360, I know 188, 360 minus 98.21 minus 90, I've got 171.79. Okay, this is 171.79, and once you know this angle, we can find Pn by using cosine rule one more time. The first version of cosine rule, a square equals b square. B square in this case will be 4 and 7. Doesn't matter whether it starts with 4 or 7, the same thing. 2, 4, 7 cos of the angle between 171.79, and your Pn is therefore 10.974 in meter. Okay, I've got Pn ready. So I've got the length of all 3 sides, right? This is 10.974. So to find the length of stones required, right? All the stones required, will be 5 plus 8 plus 10.974, and this will be 23.974 meter. All right. Okay, that's about it. So by the way, we have a collection of learning modules, right? Come with step-by-step learning videos and books, yeah, right? Past your question, topical practice, yeah, drill practice book. If you're interested, you can get in touch with us, yeah, to find out more through our WhatsApp, our phone, yeah, our website, or you can visit, find us from Shopee, yeah, go to Shopee, search for Pusat Tuition Teliti, can find all books here, right? Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next video.